Chain tensioning is something that all bikers with a bike with a chain need to know how to do. I know many people who have actually gone and taken their bikes to garages to get the chain tightened, and it's just silly because it's so easy to do. It doesn't even take long. You don't need specialist tools. You should be doing it yourself. But the first thing I need to do is show you something pretty badass. Got a letter here. It's from a channel called Ichiban American guy. He teaches you things you will not believe. He is quite the mechanic. Not only has he sent me some stickers, but he's also sent me an authentic certificate for being a badass. Without that, what was I going to do? So we just need to put that in there. And this is 11% off Super Saver coupon for VHS manuals, service parts, badass mods, and shop services, which is awesome. I will be using that next time I visit. So go to the link in the description and check out Ichiban Moto. As I say, his skills are ungodly, and I'm very proud to have his sticker right there. Subscribe to his channel because he's going to teach you stuff that I will not be able to. But onto the things I can teach you about, such as tightening your chain. These are all the tools that I need for mine. I do this in a different way to some people do it, but it's basically the same sort of. If you see how I do mine, you'll understand. Now, I do have an extra step because I have these skateboard wheel sliders. They have to come off first. And yes, these literally are skateboard wheels. See? Don't lose that. If you want to know how to make these skateboard wheel sliders, which cost about 10 quid, go to Jake the Garden Snake's channel and search axle sliders, or skateboard wheel axle sliders, or something like that. Yeah, awesome thing. Well, first things first, how do you know if your chain needs adjusting? Well, there should be either in the manual or on the swing arm a marking that tells you how much the chain should go up and down. I know from experience that, for my bike, it's too loose. A couple of things to note here also. The bike must be on the ground to adjust it, unless your manual says otherwise, because when the weight of the bike is on the rear wheel, it'll put tension on the chain. You also don't want to tighten it so it's like tight like this, because when you sit on the bike, it'll tension it again, and it'll be over tight, and you can put extra pressure on the countershaft bearing and the shaft and all sorts. So the first thing you have to do is loosen the axle off. Different bikes have different methods, but basically you just have to loosen it. You have to take it off just so it's loose, because then the wheel can slide. Now on different bikes you're going to have different methods of doing this. Some will have a threaded piece like this here, some will have a piece that comes out the back, some won't have a threaded piece at all, it will have cams or adjusters, but again you'll have to look at your individual bike. But all you need to do basically is loosen off the locking nut, because there'll be two nuts. One locks the other one, and the other one is the adjuster. So just loosen off the locking one. There are markings on here that you can go by. You see you've got a line here and markings along here, and you have to match this with the other side to keep the wheel in line. I've always been taught to ignore these because they tend to not be very accurate. Maybe on your bike it works, but I have a different method. What I'm going to do is to exaggerate so you can see what I mean. So I'm going to loosen it a bit. Now on this bike we have a chain guard and guides and all sorts that keep the chain in place. So, you know, it's not so likely to pop off, but on other bikes it's very open. But this sort of stuff is ridiculous, just no. So what you do is if you watch the chain as I tighten this up, you'll see that it's lifting. And its very small movements have quite a big difference on the chain. Can you see how that goes up and down with just like it's like a tenth of a turn, or a quarter of a turn anyway. That's a big difference, a tenth and a quarter. Shut up. Right, I know for me, on this bike for my weight, that is about right. Maybe a bit more. Yeah. So what you got to do is hold the adjuster on and then tighten up the locking nut. And this is the one annoying thing about the DRZ, the way that they've done this, it's really difficult to get a spanner in here. There, got it, right. And that's just going to lock it in place. Now what I do is I take some verniers and I just take that measurement there, which is from this inside wall to this inside wall. What I also do on other bikes, if there is 2 nuts on the back and a piece of thread, I measure the end piece of thread. But you just have to find 2 places where it's evenly spaced on each side so you can check the measurement. So that's that. I can lock this down. These are very old and dead, but they do me proud for this sort of stuff. Now on this side we've got to match up that gap, and as you can see, there's not a lot in it, but it does need to be adjusted to keep the wheel in line. So loosen the locking nut and then wind out the adjuster. But as you can tell, because this line is here and this is the last line here, I'm actually getting pretty close to the point that I'm going to have to replace my sprockets. I happen to know that this there's something wrong with this. It's bent and it really doesn't like moving after a certain point. But as you can tell, because this line is here and this is the last line here, I'm actually getting pretty close to the point that I'm going to have to replace my sprockets. Now here's something worth mentioning, because there's a misunderstanding. Chains don't stretch. It doesn't work like that. It's the sprockets getting dug out. Each tooth gets dug out a little bit. And yeah, that's as far as I can adjust it. I've run out of adjustment. Oh, but it's just in what I need it to go. Look, we're in. So that's the last adjustment I can do on this chain and sprocket set. I need new chain and sprockets for this bike. Damn. So tighten down the locking nut. Final check. Yep, we're just inside. Check the other side. Yep, exactly the same. So we're all good. Give the wheel a good shunt forwards to make sure it's exactly where it should be. And then you just have to tighten it down. Now you should use a torque wrench and get the correct settings for this. However, I know this bike well enough by this point that I can just do it by hand. Pop my axle slider back in. Make sure the skateboard wheels are right around, because I don't want to have that no fear outwards, because that would look a little bit, yeah. Now, as I say, different bikes have different methods of doing this. Just check your manual. None of them are difficult, really, because all bikes are designed for you to be able to adjust your chain nice and easily, and there you go. That's done. It's taken me a couple of minutes to do, and a garage would probably charge you, what, 20 quid to do that? Something like that? Half an hour's labour, 20 to 25 pounds? It's ridiculous. You don't need them to do it. You can do it yourself. What you would now want to do is sit on the bike, and ideally if someone else is around you, make sure the chain's got a little bit of movement in it. It's not like twang, 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 because I say that's too tight. Don't forget to clean your chains regularly. Don't forget to lube your chains regularly. Do not clean your chain with the engine running. I know a lot of people do this, you know, where you put it on a stand and you'll have the engine running with it in first and you'll have a brush on it to clean the chain. If you do that, you'll lose fingers. It isn't worth the time that you save. You can turn the wheel by hand and do it that way, no problem there. Just do not start the engine. And if you don't believe me, someone who commented on my video only the other day, I think it was his brother or someone, lost an index finger, I think it was, or a thumb, through doing that. Is it worth saving the time? No, it's not. So don't start your engine while cleaning your chain. And we'll mention this because so many people are going to say this. There is a thing out there called Chain Monkey, which is a little device that helps you get the right tension on the chain. You put it onto the chain and then you tighten everything up and then you just take it off and it leaves the right slack in the chain. I don't have one and I don't really need one because I've done this so many times that I've learned. But if you're a newbie and you want to do this yourself and you're unsure, being able to actually dial in exactly what the manufacturer says is a massive help, obviously, because you just put it on this little error. The front and the back wheel need to be in line, and that's why the back wheel needs to be adjusted the same on each side, because if it's out, well, it's not good for obvious reasons. A little tiny bit out and you probably wouldn't notice it that much, but a lot and you would. Using my method, it's within a couple of millimetres, or at least a millimetre. It's pretty damn close, and it's never done me wrong over the nearly, well, sort of 8, 9 years that I've been doing my own chains. I don't think I've ever paid anyone to do my chain because it always seemed too easy. Well, there you go. I hope that's helpful. If you've got any questions, please leave comments below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel and all that stuff. I do all sorts of helpful videos. And if there's anything you want me to cover, please comment away and I'll see if I can incorporate it, because a lot of these little jobs seem really simple and easy to me, and I don't really consider telling people about them because it feels like telling people how to suck eggs. But But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to check out Ichiban Moto, links also in the description. Good guy, so he's taught me so much. Catch you next time.